All right, we're going to get started. This is a meeting on double whistles. And I alluded to it at the end of our meeting last month. It's basically going to be plays where two officials blow their whistle on the same play, and how do we handle it? Should they have blown their whistle? What did they do after they blew their whistle? What, was the mannerisms? How did they continue on after the play happened? That's what we're going to look at tonight, and hopefully get a little insight as to how to manage double whistles, because I don't know about you guys, but I have a double whistle in every one of my games, almost always. Maybe not always, but almost always there's a double whistle, and usually multiple double whistles, because there's lots of crossing areas, right? Where my primary crosses that primary, the ball came from here, went into there. I'm still watching, they're picking it up. Maybe it's a boring game and we're ball watching, right? But inevitably double whistles happen. So I'm going to queue up the first video and we'll get started. All right. I put this on Facebook a couple months ago, but it's worth taking a look at and talking about. I'm going to let it play. I'm going to play it fast again. The action happened opposite table on the free throw line with the block charge with the whistle. All right, so we got a double whistle. Both the center and the trail blew their whistle. Comes down and boom. All right, so whose primary is this? Who should be blowing their whistle to take this? Anyone have an answer?
I mean, I think the center, it came from the center, and it's in his area still.
Right, so the ball right now is in center's area. So they're looking at all of that. I mean, he's got a lot of guys in that area, but I say this every month, every meeting, when the ball is in your primary area, the officials whose area that is should be watching the ball and that matchup, right? Yep. So the center has it. Then as the play progresses and the contact happens, where does the contact happen? Right in the center's area. So whose call should this be?
The center.
Easy one, right? Center. But why did the lead blow their whistle? What is the lead looking at right now? He's got two guys in the lane.
He should be looking at those.
On white, and two guys, on blue, and the other two are almost in the trails area. So he's watching basically nothing. Do we agree? Nobody's really doing anything at this point.
True.
Okay. The play progresses on. And now what is he looking at? Even less, because they kind of scatter. So what is he looking at then? If he doesn't really have much, matchups to look at, what do you think his eyes are gravitating to or should gravitate to?
To the ball.
To the ball that is coming his way, yes?
Yes, it is.
He shouldn't probably be looking all the way up to the ball.
I think
he should be at least ball aware, right? Do we agree? Ball aware, know that it's coming? And since he knows it's coming and it comes into the lane and he gets excited and the contact happens and he's got it because he's got nothing else to watch. So he, for the most part, saw it all too. So this double whistle, the double whistle in this case is okay. I think it's all right that he blew his whistle. He wasn't reaching really. He was watching the play, knew the play was coming his way, and he wasn't going to not get it. And if you watch, now I can play it again. If you watch, as soon as the whistle blows and the lead realized that there was another whistle, the center was quick to signal. But he realized right away and he put his arm right down because it wasn't his call. He knew it wasn't his call. It's okay that he blew his whistle, but he knew and he put his arm down and all right, we're good to go. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah, I have a question, Josh. Had this play with two-man mechanics. So that is the trail's call?
In two-person
Two-man.
mechanics, you have the lead and the trail. So the center we're going to say is the trail. Yes. Now he's down a little far in a two-man setup, but he's going to be on that side. So yes, that would be the trail's call until it gets into the lane, right?
Right.
But the rules book, not the rules book, I'm sorry, the officials manual says, and actually it happens outside the lane, so it's in the trails area. But the officials manual says, if the play starts in your primary coverage area and there's a drive to the basket, you are supposed to stay with the play all the way to the basket. So even if it crosses over into someone else's primary coverage area, you're supposed to stay with the play the whole way because you saw it from beginning to develop to finish, right?
Mhm.
So the point of that is not to say, well, we should sometimes watch when the ball comes in our area and then we don't have to watch this and I don't have to, but that's not my primary, so I can let it go. No, we should still always be aware the ball comes to my primary, I need to pick it up. But the official who starts with it is also going to follow with it. Does that make sense? I hope I didn't confuse that at all.
No, I'm not on video, but I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
I just had that play and the coach, asked me, so I talked with my partner and he said he didn't have a foul and I didn't have a good look because there was a lot of action underneath the basket. So I just wanted to make sure I reinforced with my partner next time that is his play coming from, he was a trail, so he should have took it right. It was the exact same play, basically.
Let's show another one and we can talk. And I'm glad you brought up two-person because we don't talk about two-person enough sometimes. And so we can bring up that coverage. But I want to talk about another reason why sometimes that a double whistle can be blown. We're going to play this one. Okay, double whistle again. I'm going to play it fast again, quick. Ball's coming down. And the lead is quick to drop his arm. Right? So, boom, we got two whistles. Is it okay to have two whistles on this play?
I'd say yes.
Where did the contact happen? Pretty close down that center intersection line. Do we agree?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I've said this before, but I'll say it again. On a transition play, which this is, it's going from the backcourt to the front court. It hasn't settled. There's not really primary coverage area because it's going from one to the other. Nobody's in their home position. They're all working to get there. So we all kind of have to watch what we watch within reason. Now, that doesn't mean you can just say, well, I'm going to call all the way into the other corner because there's no primary areas. Well, there's still the areas are still there and we still use them as guidelines, but the lead is watching what? Even though that's not his area, the lead has nothing other than the ball and that defender trying to go after the ball, right? Because they're all moving from the backward to the front court. So the lead is going to be watching that matchup, regardless of where it is on the court. Do we agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, so the lead sees it coming, and that means the lead is going to be excited to make a call because it's the only thing he's looking at, which he does. Now the center, who's a little far away, but because it was in transition, also saw the play, had it the whole way because it was on his side. He followed it the whole way. He has a whistle. So I think it's okay, again, to have a double whistle here. Having a double whistle is not a bad thing. Sometimes it is, but usually it's not a bad thing. But what happens as soon as the whistles are blown? You see how quickly the lead puts his hand down? The lead knows, and you could make a case that the lead calls it because it's what's coming to him in the lane, right? There's no real areas, but the lead knows there's a double whistle and he's going to let his partner take it. Heaven forbid, the lead has a player control foul and the center has a block or a hit or something. And now you got two calls, right? So he puts his arm down, no harm, no foul. Yes?
Yep, agree.
We have to be aware of our partner's whistles. We have to be aware. We have to be able to hear that our partner had a whistle at the same time we did. And 90+% of the time, we should be able to hear the other whistle, because a simultaneous whistle with the exact amount of time of the whistle being sounded is very slim. And I don't know if I'm explaining it well, but tweet, and someone else goes tweet. So there's almost always going to be some overlap where you're going to hear that extra whistle. Or mine goes first and his comes second, and you hear tweet, tweet. You can hear a double sound. So almost always we're going to be able to hear it. And if we do, post and hold, you can drop right away if you just going to give it up. You don't have to post and hold and point and say, you got it. You don't have to do that. You can just let it go and let your partner have it. So, all right. So that's kind of another reason why we might have a double whistle on a transition play. And the lead is excited because it's the only thing he's got to look at, right? So the lead gets it, even though maybe it comes from a different area. This is a fun one for me. I don't know about fun, but I find it somewhat humorous. We have a play, foul. Wait, not yet. Okay, foul. Double whistle. Okay, now you can't see, I'm going to rewind it. You can't see the lead. You see the lead coming out to run now. You can't see the lead blow his whistle, but clearly, because he came running out, he has a whistle, right? And you can see the center with his whistle. His arm goes up. He closes down on the whistle. He does a nice job. But watch what happens. That's embarrassing. Is it not? You have double whistle, which, again, totally fine, but they both reported. All right, he goes to run. They gets the foul. The center, well, neither of them, I'm not giving either of them a pass. Neither of them know that there was another whistle. And if they did, they didn't acknowledge that there was another whistle because they both ran to report the foul. The center's quick because he's right there. And so he reports it just inside the reporting area, maybe. The lead runs to the reporting area before he goes and goes, oh, wait a second, right? Now, at least the lead recognizes that the center already took it, and now we don't have two people reporting, but he was there to report. We have to know when there's another whistle. We have to, because again, to me, not, I don't know, maybe neither teams saw this and cared, maybe none of the fans saw this and cared, but as an official, I chuckled a little because that's embarrassing. You should never have two guys going to the table to report the same foul. Any questions on that one? Whose call was this? There's the foul right there. Whose call is this?
Lead.
There is an actual line. It's not the line I put in there on the floor, splitting that lane. And we know that the lead has half of the lane and the center has the other half of the lane. So whose primary call is this?
Center.
It's the center's call. Now, again, I think it's okay that we had a double whistle because the lead's watching that action. It's rebounding action. It came up and came down and came up and came down. And so the lead's watching, he can get that. That's okay. But since there's a double whistle, now we need to know, double whistle, oh, is it my area or is it not my area? It's not my area. I'm dropping my arm because it's not my primary area. I got the foul. I got it. But my partner got it too. So I'm going to let my partner take it. And even if my partner calls a completely different foul, he calls it the other way, and I didn't see it that way, it's his primary area. He probably saw it better than I did because it's his area, right? So we can't say, oh, and then come in and we got to talk about this. I had something different. Let's talk about it. Make sure we get it right. No, it's your partner's call. He blew the whistle. You dropped your arm, meaning you gave it up. Done. Do we agree with that philosophy? You're not going to come in and overrule your partner's opinion as to what happened, right? It's his judgment that this is what happened, even though his judgment and your judgment may be different. That's not a Like an out of bounds is a rule. You could say, well, it's judgment, right? Because who touched it last? Okay, but out of bounds is not as big a deal. In fact, we've got procedures put in place to fix that. But you don't come in and say, okay, hey, no, I had it on, the foul was actually on black. It wasn't on white. Oh, okay, great. Let's switch it. That looks bad, right? I mean, you could do it, but don't do it. Questions? All right. Okay, now the center was very quick to signal here, very quick. But the lead also had a whistle. Was the center right to make the call so quickly? Whose call is that? Whose primary coverage area is that?
The center.
The center.
Agreed.
Now,
Yep.
should he have called it so quickly, knowing that there was another whistle? Maybe he could have posted and held a little bit, but it's his area. He's watching it the whole way, right? It starts in the center. Contact happens in the center. The center blows the whistle. The lead should be watching all those players in the lane, but the lead is ball aware. It's coming again toward him. And this is why, for those that are working for a while, there's not a debate, but there's a discussion about, hey, when the ball comes into the paint and there's a crash in the paint, let lead take that, right? When in high school, the officials manual says, no, if it's in your primary coverage area, then the primary official of that area makes the call. It's not you give it to the lead. So a lot of guys will say, yeah, but when it comes to the paint, the lead really is kind of in charge of all the paint. And I would say that could be possibly true, right? Because we're watching that paint. It's hard to split it down the center and say you can have that half. But double whistle, and now I know double whistle, I know half of this paint is mine, the other half is his, I can drop. So if the official is so super sensitive, not sensitive, so, charged up and yeah, I'm going to get it right away. That's why what we usually say is if you're the center and you have a block or a charge that's in the paint. Now, this one didn't happen in the paint, this video, but if it's in the paint and you're the center, post and hold every time, because many times the lead is just so excited and they just want to punch it, right? It's not as easy to punch. And I know they got rid of the team control punch, but it's not as easy to punch as the center go on this way as it is the lead. They put their hand back and they punch it forward. So that's where that philosophy comes from. But technically, if it's in the center, it's the center's call, right?
If the center had used better mechanics and gone straight up, that can kind of cover a mistake with a double whistle.
Because he went so fast. All right, can I point something out here? I just noticed it now, but another reason why he might have not had such great mechanics is, look, the coach is in his ear. So yes, he goes behind his head before his hand even goes up. Well, at the same time, he didn't even put his hand up. So you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. If he would have gone up deliberately with his arm first, as we're supposed to do, and then signal, it would have given just that half a second to a second delay to say, oh, there's another whistle. Now I can post and hold. That's why it's so important that we stop the clock on a violation or a foul every time with our hand up in the air, because it gives us that extra second if something else happens to just delay. Because by going like this right away, and then your partner comes in and goes like this right away, now you got a problem. That's a great point. I'm glad you saw that. All right. Here's a little different of a kind of a double whistle. Everybody see what happened on that? Happened in the corner. I want you to watch it again, analyze it as you watch it, and then give me some feedback as to what you think we're going to talk about.
Oh,
Good, bad, anything that you see on that worth discussing.
well, the one guy was running out of bounds there.
Right? So you say the lead is so far away. Why is the lead still watching this play? Why is he even watching this play? Can anyone have an answer to that as to why it might be?
He came from his
Can
area.
you have whistled it already?
It came from his area. Where's another reason too?
Because he was out of
He
bounds.
ran out of
That's
bounds.
right.
He
The
was out of
lead.
bounds.
That's right. The lead is in charge of the entire end line. He has to know whether that player steps out of bounds or not, or the defender maybe is out of bounds and hits the ball. So he has to know. There's no way the center can see that. So yeah, he's still watching that, and that's where the action is. So I think he's okay to be watching that play still. He hustles over when it happens to him. Look, he's got an open hand. So you know he's got what?
Violation.
Some kind of violation, most likely an out of bounds violation. Yes? Not necessarily, but definitely a violation where the center has what up in the air?
Fist.
Oh,
A fist. So the center,
Center has a foul.
he has a foul. So now we have a foul and a violation. Can we get together on this, or is this a you take it kind of a thing?
You should be able to get together because the guy was running from the end line. He was out of bounds initially, and the lead was there to see him running out of bounds.
Right. So if you've got a foul and your partner has a foul, you can take it. Don't need to discuss it. But if someone has a violation and someone has a foul, those are two completely different calls. One probably happened before the other, right? Foul may have happened first and then the violation, or the violation and the foul. That's where we have to get together, because it's not a my opinion and your opinion. It's a I had this, which is completely irrelevant and separate of what you had. So we got to figure out what happened first and then go with what happened first. We understand that, right? It's not just we got something different, let's get together. It's literally, I've got a violation which may have happened before your foul, right?
Agreed.
Okay,
Correct.
so with that, let's go back to this. Let's go back to this spot. It goes all the way in the corner. We have a violation and we have a foul. All right. And I cut it off right there. So then they get together, which is exactly what they should do. What should the trail be doing?
Watching the players.
Watching the players. Is he okay to watch the players from where he's at?
Get closer.
He could get closer, but I think he's okay there. He could see all the players. If some player does something funky or stupid or, weird, he's going to be able to see it. You don't have to be right there and say, go, come on, guys, stay away. Oh, I'm right here. You just need to watch the players to make sure nobody does anything stupid. So I think he's okay there, as long as he's watching the players. I'm going to assume that he is. Then as the play progresses, they discuss it, and it looks as though the out of bounds happened first, right?
It did, yeah.
Yes.
But what they did not do, and I spoke to the official on this game, and what they should have done after that discussion is blow your whistle, tweet, and point out of bounds. Because now that you've discussed, and everyone's probably watching, but maybe someone's not, now you've made a decision, blow your whistle, you draw attention to yourself, it's out of bounds going this way. All right? Does everybody understand that kind of faction of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise it's almost kind of like okay, we'll go this way. No, it's boop, this way. All right, that's very definitive. That's very authoritative. Yes, okay, they talked about it and he's got it right. We're going that way. No questions asked. All right.
So Josh, question on that. What are they calling that foul? If the center had a foul on that, is that just going to be incidental after the ball's dead?
Right. So that's a great question. So if the center says, no, I had a foul. And the lead says, I had not, he stepped out of bounds. Any contact that happens after a whistle. So if they're now determining that the out of bounds whistle happened first. So that was the first whistle, even though they were so close. Any contact after that is incidental. Unless you deem it to be intentional contact or flagrant contact, it's incidental, no matter what. And if it is intentional or flagrant, then you would assess it. You would assess a technical foul. Okay, so that usually has to rise to a pretty high level to get there, right? Maybe there's an out of bounds and the kid throws his elbow into him. Yeah, that's probably an intentional technical foul. We should probably get that. But just kind of a regular, he fouled him because he was going for the ball. Great, incidental.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
All right. Double whistle, we saw it, right? Lead and center again. Most double whistles are lead and center. Not all, but most, because it happens in the paint. Both officials are kind of looking in the paint. And in this play, the lead points to the center and says, you take it, which that's okay to do. Who had the best look at this play?
The lead.
The lead had the best look.
The lead definitely had the best look. So it's okay because it was coming his way. It wasn't in his area, but the lead got it. The lead saw it. The lead blows his whistle, goes, he's not going to let that go. The kid came across his arm to hack him to stop the shot, but the center got it. And since the center got it, great. Center's area, you take it. Double whistle. I know it's not my area. I'm dropping my arm. Or you take it. If you feel more comfortable making sure that your partner knows you're giving it to him pointing, then that's okay. You can do that. You don't have to do it, but you can do that. So you guys are on the same page. Okay, great. You got it. Okay, good. And then you start to move it up.
Jimmy Gallagher into the game for Brother Rice. Nego drives, gets contact, and
that's great baseline help.
Yeah.
Double whistle. What do you think? Block or charge? I know this isn't a block charge.
Jimmy Gallagher into the game for Brother Rice. Nego drives, gets contact, and
that's great baseline help.
The official calls a block.
A little bit. It's a blocking foul, and I think when you see the replay, you are going to see that Gilbert Tyson was actually in the air.
Whose call is this?
Lead. Right.
Center.
Center.
Where does the lead's primary coverage area end?
In the
Middle of the lane.
Middle of the lane. So is he on his side of the lane?
No.
No.
It's not. So the center has it here, right? Is it? We all agree it's the center's play right now. Yes?
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes.
And as it progresses, and we've already said, if it's a drive to the basket, you stay with it the whole way, but it didn't even get into the other primary coverage area. It hampered right in the center's area. Now look how strong the lead comes out. And almost, oh, wait, oh, no, so we have another whistle, right? Did you see that? I'm going to go to the wider view. Hold on. All right, he comes up. He almost, oh, yeah. Now he recognized late, really late, he recognized a double whistle, but he held that signal back. Everyone knew he was going block. So even though he withheld, it was still kind of a signal. But for the most part, okay, nope, he heard it and he's withholding. But it is the center. So the center, I don't know if the center gave it up or if the lead just took it, but the center should be taking that call. That is not one, in my opinion. I don't like, unless you give it up. And I don't know, again, this is a snippet out of the game, right? I don't know what the context, maybe the last three fouls, that center official called the last three fouls. And so now this play, I want you to take it because I don't want to have to call all the fouls. It's going to look like I'm controlling the game. And we know that as officials, sometimes one guy dominates, right? But for the most part, if they just happen in front of me, they happen in front of me. And hey, we got a double whistle. I just had the last three. Great, you take it. I think that's okay. But if that's not the case, the center really should come in and say, I got that. If that's mine, I got it. I got it. And once he sees that his partner, the lead, has it, even if you come in like mine, you don't necessarily have to do that either. But if that's how you're going to sell it, and then sell it, because that was the center the whole way. He had the play the whole way. Do we agree with that? Don't give a call up if it's your call. Now, if you see that your partner is calling quicker or doesn't recognize that you have a whistle, fine, you've got to give it up. And you have to be aware of that. You can be slow. You don't have to be quick, slow, post and hold. Okay, great. Okay, now I'm going to signal. But don't give it up if it's yours, just for the, to be a good soldier. So tell me, block or charge? What do you guys think?
Jimmy Gallagher into the game for Brother Rice. Nigo drives.
I thought it was a charge.
Block.
It's a hard one. It's definitely a hard one, right?
Very close.
And for those of you that don't know me, 90% of the time when that play happens like that, because he hit him right in the chest, I'm calling charge. I'm almost always calling charges. But this one, look at the defender. Watch the defender the whole way. When the contact happens, how is the defender moving?
Still moving into him.
That is a block. Do we see that? The defender never established legal guarding position, and even if he did, he was moving into his opponent when contact happened. This isn't a block charge video meeting, I get it, but like I said, I love those so much, I can't let that go. All right. All right, what could we possibly talk about here outside of a double whistle? What is the double whistle should we be talking about here? What's my question? Whose primary is this?
The lead, obviously.
Obviously, as I'm showing you, it's the lead's primary, right? There's nothing that the lead has to watch other than that play. Yes, it wasn't a drive to the basket. How did the ball get in there?
Pass.
Okay, so there's not I'm going to stay with the ball the whole way because it started in my area. That's only on a drive to the basket. This was a pass. The lead official is watching this. It looks like he just rotated over, but that's not really relevant because that is his area now. He's the lead, right? And the lead got it. He pushed him. Clearly, he pushed him with his arm. The lead got it. But what did the lead do? What did the lead do?
Waited.
He waited. He waited. Now, I don't know if he waited because he knew, sorry, I'm trying to cue this up. I don't know if he waited because he knew the double whistle. Yep, he did. Because look, he's looking over right away. He looks over because there's a double whistle. Good for the lead because what does the trail do? The trail runs in and signals right away. Right? You all saw that?
Yeah.
So here's my complaint with this. I'm not blaming the lead for anything. I thought the lead did a great job. Whistle. Oh, one over there. I'm looking. What do you got? The trail, who should be giving this to the lead, who it's in the lead's area. And I realized there was a transition, so there might have been a little confusion because he was the center prior to that. But he comes running in and signals right away. Your lead's got it. He's right there. He has the foul. What does your lead have? Let the lead take it. Okay.
But he was waiting, wasn't he? He wasn't calling anything.
The lead was waiting?
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought he was just sitting, so the guy maybe felt compelled that he had to run in there.
He was waiting. And you know what, Tom? That's a great point because I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure this was a less experienced official, not inexperienced, just less experienced lead than the trail. And the trail came in, who's got a ton of experience, a ton of clout, everyone knows, and he come up, oh, he's got a foul, so I'm going to wait to see what he's got, right? Let him take it. But no, just because you're less experienced doesn't mean your foul's any less valid than what he's got. It's your call. You had it the whole way. Boom, I got it, right? So the lead, I got it. The lead doesn't want to signal and have something different. So I'm okay with that. But the trail really needs to know it's his. I'm going to let him take it. And honestly, if that's his first varsity game ever, and we're trying to help him out so he doesn't get, in too much trouble, you still got to let him take that call. It was right in front of him, right? And how is anyone supposed to grow and get better if they can't make those calls? And what if he got it wrong? If he screwed it up, okay, then he screwed it up and he's going to learn from that. So for those of us that are more experienced on a game that we're working with someone who's less experienced, yes, we need to help them out. We need to help make them grow. But to do that, sometimes you need to allow them to make a call. You need to allow them to make a wrong call. You need to allow them to get yelled at a little because you had to go through it. How did you grow? Did you get sheltered and, I'm going to carry you under my wing the whole time? Probably not, right? We all had to go through some of it. So know that part of growing as an official is having to go through that stuff. So I'm glad you said that, Tom, because I think that's exactly what he did. He saw he was coming in and he's like, well, wait, he's not calling it. So I'm going to come in and call it. No, just drop your arm and say, you got it. What's the worst thing that happens? He calls it the other way. That's the worst thing. So, all right. Any other comments on that?
I mean, I kind of thought the lead held it up, waiting for the center who went to the trail to drop his, to tell you the truth.
Well, I'll tell you what, that could possibly be what happened. Maybe the less experienced official didn't want to overstep onto a call that the more experienced official, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, no, I'm going to wait. You can take it because you're better. But you know what? Then as the more experienced official, you really should say, no, you take it, right? Because you got it. You know it. Let him take it. You're there. You've been there. You've done this. You've done that. So you need to be the one who says, gain your confidence, make the call, what you saw. And that's the only way you're going to, rise up. So, all right. I'm going to play it fast again. It was a transition play. What do we think? What do you guys think so far before I play it slow? What can we talk about on this play?
Well, the trail is kind of far back.
Mike, he's not kind of far back. He's way far back.
Okay.
I know I'm making a play on words. He's really far back. He is the farthest away from the play. He probably shouldn't be the one that gets this foul because who has the best look?
The lead's right there.
He's right there. It's coming toward him. He's watching the play as it comes toward him. He's going to see it the best. But this is kind of like the last play. Inexperienced, I shouldn't say not inexperienced, less experienced and more experienced. Because what does the lead do? Almost instantaneously.
Drop.
He notices there's another whistle and he drops his arm. And I can guarantee you with almost 100% certainty, nothing's certain, but I can guarantee you, okay, okay, good. Oh, good. I don't have to make that call, right? Because when you don't have very much experience, it's hard to make calls, even easy ones. Sometimes it's hard. You don't want to, what if I get it wrong? Or what if I get yelled at? So he drops his arm because he knows his partner who's got more experience than him is going to get it. So as the trail, you got to come in and get that because the lead on it right away gave it away. So you can't just, not take care of it or come in and say, hey, you take it. But as the lead, even if we're less experienced, just hold there, stand there and just hold and wait. Because hopefully your more experienced official is going to say, okay, take it. You got it. Right. Doesn't always work that way. I get it. But All right. So I do think in that play, let me play it one more time. I do think the trail probably shouldn't have even blown his whistle. What do you guys think? What should the trail be watching right at this moment?
He should be watching all these players.
I can tell you what he shouldn't be watching: the ball. Right? He's got all those players, 2, 4, 5. He's got 5 players behind the ball, which I realize they're not really doing anything, but you should still be watching them to make sure that they don't do anything. So he shouldn't be watching the ball. And I get it. It's easy to watch it the whole way. I get it. But have the strength, the mental strength to withhold your whistle, even if you're watching the ball and then you see the foul. Oh my goodness, he really fouled him. Hold your whistle. And then if your partner comes up short, your partner doesn't blow his whistle, then come in a second and a half, maybe even 2 seconds later. 2 seconds is a long time, but you can come in and then sell it. Coach, he shoved him. I think that's okay. Whistles don't have to be soon as it happens. It can be late. And then, you'll hear from the coach or the players, well, that was a late call. Oh, so you agree it was right, just it was late. All right. I got a few more. And then I got a special one that I pulled off. I think it's fun. All right. Did you see that? Watch the center and the lead. Okay. The trail's not in this one. The center and the lead. The center, the lead sells it, but so does the center. Now this is, I clipped this more for a block charge, whether you think it's a block charge or not, but go back to here. Where is the center standing?
Almost by the trail.
He's not even in the center position. He's in a trail position. Now that means the trail's even further away. The trail's in terrible position too, but let's take the trail out of it. The center is way over there. First of all, he shouldn't be watching the ball, right? What should he be watching?
These guys right here.
On the end of the lane line, yes. His little 3-point shooter that's not going to get the ball. He's aware that he's there. The other 3-point shooter at the top of the key, he might get the ball, but he's aware that he's there. But there's a little matchup with the 3 defenders, and that could possibly come into play, yes? So we need to know what's happening there. We're not watching the ball. We're watching those players. So then as the ball, go ahead.
Josh, I have a question. When you have a drive like that, how deep do you want the C to go there? So should he be down by the block almost, or what position do you recommend the C gets to when you have a drive just like this?
That's a good question. And my first answer, and I'm not saying this necessarily to be flippant, even though it kind of is, he shouldn't be where he's standing now.
Oh, yeah.
He should at least be at the free throw line extended. This is not a transition play where he's still trying to get to his position. All 3 of those officials are standing flat-footed, which I'm not suggesting they shouldn't be flat-footed, but that means they've been standing there for a while. So he should be free throw line extended, at least. Now, as the play comes... Go ahead, Frank.
So that's where that's my home base usually when there's not a transition play, is I'll go free throw line extended, but then I find myself flat-footed there until there's a drive to the basket. But even then I don't know, because I have fear that if I get too low, then there'll be a transition the other way and I'll get beat bad. So that's why I'm just trying to figure out how deep I should really go on there.
Okay, so let's look at this too as a 2-person mechanic. You've got a lead and you've got a trail. And I think they are perfectly situated for a 2-person game. All right. But as the play progresses, if this is a 2-person game, that center over there, would be the trail, can slide down as the play progresses into the lane and could be at the free throw line extended, because that's where all the players are. Yes, there's 2 players that are a bit outside of that, but those players aren't doing anything. They're not going to do anything. You're aware that they're there in case they do something, but you're going to slide in to help out with all that action, right? Same principle with the center. The center needs to be there because you need to get in there with the action. The lead can't watch all that. So the center is kind of watching what he would be watching if he was closer, right? Because he's looking in the lane. The action happens in the lane where that cross section of areas happens, but he's so far away. His call, in my opinion, is not credible. Right?
Agree.
So we got to get closer to the play. Then the lead, I want to point this out. Watch the lead. He sells it, right? And he notices now, he's like, oh, my partner called it too. And what does he do? You take it. Why are you letting him take it? He's 50 feet away. The lead, even though it might necessarily, if you technically take that line and you split it down the center and you say, oh, it was on the center side, maybe technically, but that's lead's call. Would we agree?
Yes.
That's right on the line. The lead is the closest to the play in this particular situation. That's the lead. Don't give it to the center. Don't. That is your call. And as the lead, you've already signaled, you signaled, just take it. Now, again, maybe that lead had 4 calls in a row, and so he wants to give it away. I get that. But we're going to take that out of it, right? And just look at the positioning and what happens. So I'm a big believer in double whistles. If it's in my primary, I take it. Big believer. Doesn't mean I haven't had games where I've had a call and I let my partner have it. Or I had a call and I took it from my partner. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't mean we don't make mistakes. But if you can be aware that you had a whistle and you can post and hold, then you always default to where did the contact happen? It happened in his primary, he takes it, right? Or if it happened in my primary, I take it. Everybody understands that philosophy, right? Let me see if I can find one where I screwed up. I know there's a couple in here. All right, I'm the lead official on this play. Full disclosure, I'm the lead, or the transitioning new lead. And the play happens, starts on center, happens on center side. The center even signals, it's his call. But no, the lead in transition, right? There's no real area in transition. The lead's watching the play coming his way. So even though that's a guideline of the center's area because he's closest to it, the lead's excited. That's happening. It's the only thing he's watching. The lead's going to get it. And signals. Now, again, not because it was me, I will say, as the center, you need to be aware that, especially in a transition play like that, you need to be aware the lead's going to probably get this and the lead's going to be excited to get it. So the center really has to have the most fortitude to just post and hold, because it's a lot harder for the lead to post and hold because it's coming his way and I'm going to get it. Oh yeah, I got it. And punch down the way, where the center's usually a little more under control. So boop, you got, okay, down. Even though it was the center's call the whole way. Does everybody understand that as well? We have to understand the philosophy of mindset in the plays that come and go. Let me play one last one. This is not a double whistle. Well, it kind of is.
I might, hey, Josh,
Yes.
let me, okay, I understand your logic, but in this particular play, I mean, that center was where he should have been. He was right there. He had a much better angle. And I mean, and it's in his primary. So, I mean, he did great job of holding and letting the lead, but I really think that was the center's, and I think the lead actually, kind of jumped in there when he didn't really need to, because the center was right on top of that.
You don't have to be so nice, Mike. You're right. You're 100% right. But the center had the call the whole way. It should have been the center. He was the closest to it, had the best look, had the most information. But that's not my point. My point is, mentally, sometimes the lead, even though it shouldn't be his call, is all over it, because that's a call the lead makes, right? And so the center needs to be aware of that and know that, I don't want to have a charge and then my lead just comes up blocked.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying is you're 100% right. It was the center the whole way.
I get it.
So I made a mistake. Is that what you just want to point it out to everybody? All right. Just pulled this today. Someone sent it to me and I'm like, I got to use this. It's just a fun thing to end on. I want to talk about it. This is not what I mean by double whistle, but shooting foul. Double whistle. Boop, boop. All right. So here's the scenario. I'm going to play this fast again, and then I let it play out just so you can. Right, comes down. We got a shooting foul right here, and then there's a little tussle, and the official assesses a technical foul to both. But what do we have right now? Who could tell me? He's reporting to the table. They're trying to figure it out. He actually goes to talk to his partner for a little bit. They're trying to figure out what to do. Can anyone tell me before I play it even further? Any thoughts, guesses? It's okay.
The kid who got fouled is going to shoot 2 free throws with the line clear, and then we're going to go point of interruption, alternating possession, because we have a double technical foul.
Frank, you are so close.
Is it because he teed him up?
What did you say in between all of that? After the free throws, you're going to go what?
Alternating possession.
Point of interruption, right? Because what do we have? We had a foul and we had a shooting foul, yes?
Yep.
All right, so we have a shooting foul. So that's going to come with free throws for sure. But then during a dead ball, what did we have?
A double
technical foul. Yes, unless you want to say it wasn't simultaneous, which.
Right, that's what I thought you were going.
It was it not? Yes, one hand.
Yeah, it was.
It was simultaneous, right?
Okay, so we have a simultaneous double technical foul. What is the penalty for a double technical foul? How do you administer? Take the other foul out of it. How do you administer a double technical foul?
Point of interruption. You report the fouls.
Who shoots free throws? Do we shoot free throws?
No.
Neither team shoots.
No.
Neither team shoots because on a double technical foul or a double foul or a double flagrant foul, and usually when there's a double something, they kind of wipe each other out, right? Because they simultaneously happen. So we're not going to shoot them. You're both boneheads, and you're both going to get a foul, and we're going to go and resume the game at what?
Point of interruption.
Point of interruption. Great. What is the point of interruption?
The foul.
Shooting foul.
The shooting foul. Right? How would you normally resume a game on a shooting foul?
Shoot free throws.
You would shoot free throws. Would people be on the lane?
Yes.
Yes. People will be on the lane.
Without the tech, yeah.
People would be on the lane. Yes, but it doesn't matter that there's a technical foul. We don't have a technical foul. We have a double technical foul. And a double technical foul, as we just said, is resumed with the point of interruption. So they get together and the official says, all right, come on, everybody line up. We're all going to line up. All right, good. But then his official partner talks him out of it. And they clear the lane, shoot him, and then do a throw away. Okay, so it shouldn't be, you put everyone on the lane because the point of interruption is the shooting foul. You put everyone on the lane and you continue from that interrupted spot. Now, here's what I don't understand. Look at the arrow. Right now, look at the arrow. Let's say go back if I can find it. Hold on.
Pointing to blue, you had it.
You're gonna put guys back in the lane there, Josh?
Look,
After
yes.
double tech?
Yes, because what is the point of interruption, Frank?
The shooting foul.
The shooting foul. So I know it feels weird because you had a technical foul and we don't shoot technical fouls with people in the lane, right?
Right.
But it's not a technical foul. It's a double technical foul.
Right.
It's a big difference. So the arrow is pointing toward
Blue,
right?
Yeah.
I'm going to skip all the way ahead. Who are they
they
giving the
screwed
ball
that
to?
White.
They're giving the ball away. But then look at the arrow at the table. Hold on, it'll show you in just a second.
Oh,
Wait, they switched the arrow too. So not only did A get the ball, they're getting the arrow too.
And the free throws.
I'm not sure, again, what the conversation was. I don't know how they figured out what was going to do, but they switched the arrow and gave the to the wrong team.
White continues to get it every time out.
wow.
Wow, that's
All right, so just know, now again, it's weird. When you have a technical foul, you always clear the lane and you shoot the free throws. I get it. It's weird. But a double technical is like a double foul. No free throws, point of interruption. And it happened to be a foul before that. So the point of interruption is lining up on the free throw, shooting. It's the shooting foul free throws. It's not the technical foul free throws. So that's why that you just line up and you can continue on. So does everybody
So
understand
the double technical constitutes a double arrow in their mind.
Switch and then switch. You want to know what I think happened? What I think happened was they decided they're going to go to the arrow to enforce the throw-in. Okay? And the arrow was pointing toward B, right? And they told the table, we're going to go to the arrow, and then you're going to have to switch the arrow when we do the throw-in. So what does the table usually do with the arrow? They usually switch it too early, right? Oh, okay, it's going to be Blue's ball, so we're going to switch it to make sure White gets the next one. So then when the other official went to look to see who gets the ball, he looked at the arrow. It's pointing to White, so I gave it to White. I'm guessing.
Could be.
But that's what I think. So I don't know. It's kind of a wonky way, so to speak, to end. But I thought that was kind of a interesting play. So I thought we could talk about it. Does anyone have any other questions? Double whistles. We can keep talking about the double technical if you want, but the double whistles as far as how you handle it. All right, good. Well, I hope this was kind of helpful because like I said, in every game that I'm in, that I work, there's always at least one double whistle, if not multiple. So remember, philosophy-wise, mentally know where your partner's at, know what he's thinking. I know we don't know what they're thinking exactly, but know the situation, know they're probably this or I'm probably that. And if we can adjust what we do, and it's always best, no matter what position, if you can post and hold every call, that's always going to work in your favor. Because the other guy, if he doesn't post and hold, at least you didn't show that you had a charge and he had a block or what it may be. All right, that's it. Next month, December 16, and we're going to talk about court coverage. So basically, primary coverage area. We're going to go over PCAs, and I'm going to hopefully have some two-person in there as well, so we can go back and forth. But some PCAs, who should be looking at what? The ball is here. What are you looking at? This is what happened. Why did you call this? And so forth, just to kind of refresh our memory. And it's December. So December 16, we're not even a full month into the season. So it kind of helps, ramp you up so you can continue on. But if you can make that one, great. All right. Thanks for coming, guys.
Bye, Josh.
All right,
Thank you.
Josh.
Thanks.
Thanks, Josh.
Good luck this season, everybody.
Thanks, Josh.